Hello, Latinos in Clinical Research. Welcome back to our May 2021 webinar. We've got Carla Vera Navas on. She's a phase one guru. She's a self-made business person. This is how she started. You know, she found a niche. She found a tremendous need in the early stage phase one monitoring. Carla has an amazing story. So we're here to let her share her background, and then we're here to answer any question. Welcome, Carla. How's it going?
Hi, thank you for having me, guys. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here in Latinos in Clinical Research. I'm Ecuadorian by birth. I came at the age of 18 years old. And then one of my first jobs actually was as a receptionist in a phase one facility here in South Florida. I kind of moved forward to QA, then to take on studies itself, coordinators. I'm dealing with monitors, and in a kind of my career took a life on their own, and pretty soon, I believe in 2009. Maybe I'm off with the years. Correct me if I'm wrong. I finally was able to. One of the things we found here at that 2007-9 is that there were not many Spanish-speaking CRAs. So the opportunity came for sites that were developing in Latin America. They needed an Spanish-speaking CRA. So this company had worked with me in the past. Like we have met the person working together, and they knew I was very fluent in Spanish, and also knew a lot on how to handle monitors and the reason why monitors visit a course. So they gave me a chance. They gave me a 2 weeks, which I believe it was my training as a CRA, but it was more like here are the sites and here's what we expected to be done. And I was handling 8 sites throughout Latin America, which is kind of different because now you have different regulations and different IRBs to deal with. So it was like kind of a very quick process that I had to learn and move fast to it. The other part of the business was business development with finding new investigators and finding them job for them. So my job precisely was to try to locate investigators that we were reliable and were willing to learn how to do a site in their particular countries. I lasted maybe there for like 7 years, and I did from visits to the sites to help them out to FDA visits because some of our inspectors, they don't speak Spanish, so it's hard for them even to review records at some point. So I had to be there to facilitate communication if necessary. Um, so then I got tired of traveling so much. I mean, there was so many weeks there. I will come on a Friday and leave again on a Sunday. And I do have kids, so my little kids took a hit those years, but that helped me to be able to get a job more based in the U.S. I did have to pay my fair fee here, where I had to travel all over in the U.S. and gain experience in U.S. sites, and then it kind of worked from there. I mean, me and my family, which my sister is also on the line, we started our own research site, which she ran for several years very successfully. And I was overseeing that with her. We also took on some Latin American sites on their own. So we noticed that here in South Florida, there is a lot of sites that offer phase one, but there are not many monitors that have that experience. So I decided to open better services on 2000 and maybe 10 or something like that. And my clientele, it's all the facilities that do phase one. Some of them phase two, phase three, but our phase experience is with phase one CROs or phase one sponsors that are not necessarily going to the big CROs to do this type of studies.
Yeah, that's a very inspirational story. I mean, what was it that gave you the idea to go from being a monitor to starting your own company?
Well, for us, it was a family decision. At the time, my family was transitioning from a home health agency. And we also had the tools, like they had the connections with doctors and they had a connection with patients. So I told them, look, this is a really good connection because now we just need to make it a site because we had all the connections. So it was not easy. It was just I guess a transition was a little bit more easier than someone that doesn't have any of those connections already in place. So that's what really helped. So we opened the site, I believe, back in 2009, and we closed the business in 2021, actually
Wow.
2020. And the reason being is because my sister and I run the business, but my sister was running the day to day, and she was like, I'm ready to keep growing in the part of the industry and not necessarily just be a site. So that's what she's doing.
Did your experience as a site owner, because you owned a site for over a decade, did your experience as a site owner help you kind of become like a mini CRO? I mean, even though
Yeah.
you're just doing monitoring services, but you're still like a mini CRO basically.
Yes, so I think one of the things, because this was a family business, one of the things we really understand, and it's at heart of our family, is that we understand when a business work, and only the owner or whoever is paying the bills understand how important each single job is. So my contracts and my client doesn't want to pay another $15,000 for another company to do, and I can include it in my budget. Well, then it's a win-to-win situation. They don't have to hire anyone else, they just hire me for that, and the budget is pretty much an adaptation to whatever we had, and there's already trust built in that relationship. So for us, it's really like we take on heart that this is our clients, these are futures for people, and we need to make this as excellent as possible. um, that doesn't mean we're not perfect. I'm not perfect by no means. I make mistakes daily and I keep learning, but our intention, or my intention, is to deliver the best that we can.
So I'm curious, and if you already mentioned this, I apologize, but who was first to enter the research industry, you or your sister Carla? And whoever was first, how did they learn of research?
So it was me through the receptionist job at the phase one facility. But because I earned so much, like learning in so little years, one of my positions there was data entry. So I remember the phase one place that we're working at, we're needing people to do data entry. So my sister, a 15 or 16-year-old, would come with me on the weekends to help me do data entry at the company.
So you basically answered a help wanted ad to work at a phase one facility?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So I got her in. Then other friends of mine were phlebotomists, and they were like, "Oh, we need a job," and I was like, "Work here." And now they are like CRAs or site owners and things like that, because it just grows on you once you understand that you grow. So
Sure.
sister, it's part of the industry. My mom is a patient recruitment specialist.
Wow.
My brother can deal with everything that has to do with CTMS and upload records and medical records. He knows all the ins and outs of
So it
medical.
runs in the family.
Yes,
Wow, that's a true family business.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have people.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Back
That's-
before he passed away, and I'm talking about 2010 and 11, he was already going in clinicaltrials.gov and trying to find new studies for our site. So
Mhm.
our whole family like took off on research, and that's what we do for a living actually now.
Well, that's really cool.
And you were the first.
I was the first, yeah.
And
yeah.
you know what? Just to say what you mentioned here, this is why Latinos in clinical research is doing what we're doing. She's a perfect example of grassroots. When you have one individual in the family come in, understand the industry, not only can they teach, right, and explain what clinical research is and kind of bridge that gap, but it's also because, who knows, you can also bring them into the industry, help them get better paying jobs, help them kind of get exposure. I mean, this is why we wanted Latinos in clinical research, one of the many reasons why.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Carla. It's really awesome.
Not a problem. So right now I'm working on my kits. So right now my kits are helping out in calendars, scheduling my visits, getting ready my folders when I go to my sites. They have me all my files ready for the week and things like that. So they're going to be the future of the company if they decide to take on it. I don't want to make it an enforcer, but they do like the traveling, and they're all excited about traveling and going in and out. So let's see what happens.
My gosh, I love how you have your family involved. That's really amazing. I think ultimately for me, my end goal is to to be in research and all that, but also facilitate my family, right? And so it's really great to hear that somebody's done that on that scale, because I've heard a few people, but to where your whole family and your kids, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so my ex-husband also is a CRA because I introduced him to the business. And my husband currently is a CRA in the business now, which Dan already met, I'm sorry. So yeah, I think one of my skills is I'm a teacher by heart. Like if you visit someone and you tell me, oh, they're new to research, I'll be explaining from 0 to 100 what is this, each step. I'm a teacher by heart, by explaining by experience. Now that we're talking about education, because I got a job at so early age, I never completed my degree for nursing. Has it affect me? Yes. Please, if you are doing your school, I'm not an advocate to not do it. Do it. I sometimes don't get an interview because I don't have a bachelor's, and that really bothers me because once they talk to me, they know I have a lot of experience. I just need to get my foot in, and sometimes it's really hard when you don't have a bachelor's. I cannot tell you how many times they tell me, this client won't even interview you because you don't have a bachelor's. But once I see my CV, they're like, okay, we'll make an exception. I usually get the job on the same day because they can see that I have a lot of experience. But it's not that I'm a unique case. I'm sure there are a couple more like me, but it doesn't usually happen. So for me, it was a combination of luck and a lot of experience at a very young age.
Yeah, it's definitely unique, I mean, to say the least, but it shows you the versatility of owning a company. I mean, not just the fact that you have something to pass down to your kids, and you control, by the way, the fact that your kids can gain experience, right? And your husband can work with you. You can't do this if you were to work at a big CRO. I mean, you control the narrative, and at the end of the day, if you have that many studies and it's on your resume and it's your own CRO and you're so niche, like there's not too many people that are able to understand phase 1. And Carla just taught our phase 1 class on the CRC and the CRA Academy. So that just goes to show you like the power of what a little bit of experience can do. Once you get your foot in the door, it opens up all the options and you can start seeing like everything that's out there. And Carla's story is very interesting in the sense that she was able to see where the industry was going, where the needs were. She had the site, did that for a decade. It's not easy to do, and then started the phase 1 monitoring services, which is probably even more of a demand. That's it. Good job. Thank you so much, Carla. Again, we really appreciate you coming on, and can't wait to meet you next month and see if we can talk some business, do some networking. And then thank you to everyone who joined. Make sure that you spread the word. This is grassroots. We're not charging anybody any money. If we ever do, it's going to be sponsor level, not consumer level or customer. We want to serve you guys. We're never going to try to sell you anything other than your time. So please try to share this with everybody. We're trying to grow our email list, so make sure they go to latinosinclinicalresearch.com and subscribe so they don't miss out on goodies and giveaways. And thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.